Welcome back, everybody, to Empyrion Galactic Survival. Now, today is going to be a little different than what I've been doing lately. I've decided to call it an end to Season 1. There's a few factors in why I've decided to do this. One thing is the fact that the game's becoming a bit more repetitive now. It's, the same thing. I land on a planet, I clear the planet, and I go. Like, last episode, I landed on Aestus. I took out the patrol vessel and was getting ready to take out the drone base. I didn't want to make you watch me take out another drone base, and it was a good thing because it would end up being one of the easier drone bases I've encountered in the game so far. For a lava planet with a restroom ore that's supposed to be an in-game type planet, that was probably the easiest drone base I have encountered so far. So in the time it took to get the patrol vessel done, destroy the take out the drone base, and then go around setting up all of my auto miners on the Erestrum, Sathium, and Promethium deposits, and setting them to 7 hours, about seven and a half hours of production time. I cleared the entire rest of the planet. I didn't break down every POI, but I did wipe them out, take out all the critical stuff, all the alien containers, all the regular cargo containers, took out all the electronics and stuff like that that gave me valuable resources when broken down. I did all of that on every site on the planet, and I got out into orbit, took out the space station, and mined and did some work with the mining turret setup on my capital vessel to mine every single asteroid out there as well. And when I went back to the planet to collect my auto miners, some of them still had a little bit of time left. So that's, I would say 8 hours or less for me to completely clear everything on the planet that I needed, compared to what I was doing on the past planets. So it's getting a lot faster for me. I'm still enjoying getting to see the other planets. So I went ahead and did a kind of a montage. You can see that shows the different planets remaining in the system that I haven't actually gone to yet during this series. Right now, the environment seems to be the most interesting thing I'm finding. The POIs are very similar on each planet. Aestus actually had 2 outposts that were completely identical, and a third location that was nearly identical to those, just had a few variations. So there is getting to be very repetitive. And there's one of the other things that's coming up is they just released candidate 3 for the upcoming update 7.x. And looking at some more of the patch notes and some of the past ones, I'm getting a little concerned that soon I may not enjoy the game as much. There's some things they're going to be changing, and from my understanding, the problem is they think there's not enough players exploring because people get a capital vessel built and then kind of stay on that planet or in that planet's orbit and don't venture out. And for me, one of the fun things has been venturing out to explore planets, and getting to the point of doing that, building that first capital vessel was very boring for me, gathering all those supplies. Now granted, I did build a bigger than normal starting capital vessel for some people, but it was very boring and irritating getting to that point of having that capital vessel that there's a few points I'll almost quit playing just getting there. And some of the new changes are going to be, people are going to have to now venture off the starting planet and into nearby planet orbits with their small vessels, gathering supplies to build the capital vessel, because they're adding a short-range warp drive for small vessels to use. Release candidate 3, they're actually changing the way the factory works. You can't spawn your hover vessels, small vessels, or capital vessels in the middle of nature. Capital vessels can only be spawned on a base now, and your small vessels and hover vessels can only be spawned on a base or inside a capital vessel or outside a capital vessel. So you can't just spawn it on a hill anymore, which is, limiting things. But they're saying that this is a step towards a actual shipyard type setup, and that is another thing that's worrying me. The only thing I think would be useful out of the shipyard, and it's something that I've been hoping the devs would add, is when you get a ship that's damaged, you can put it somewhere and say, here's my blueprint, repair it back to that blueprint state, make it just like it's supposed to be, brand new out of the factory, and anything that needs to be added, I'll add the components for that, instead of having to rebuild the entire thing from scratch and then take the old one and dismantle it piece by piece with your multi-tool. All of this boils down to, it's still a fun game for me, though there's a lot of repetition happening, and it's getting to be where it's hard to find interesting things to show you in the game than the environments of the planets themselves, along with the upcoming changes that I'm not too sure about. I'm getting worried about how much longer I'm actually going to be playing the game and enjoying it with some of these changes that they're proposing. So I didn't want to end things for this season on a low note. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to end it on a high note because I have enjoyed this game quite thoroughly, mainly from the point I got my capital vessel built to now, especially my new capital vessel, the Diamondback Survival Cruiser. I will still be doing the workshop showcases, and that will only change based on how they change some of the building rules in the game. If they start making some of these designs too difficult to build because of resource requirements and such, I may end up stopping the workshop showcase for it, because I want to show off cool designs, and if they're impossible to build realistically in a survival standpoint without being late game, then it's going to frustrate a lot of players when they see a vessel on my workshop showcase that they like, and then they find out how hard it's going to be to build it because of the resources needed. If you like the video here today, or you like the whole series, be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and keep the tick the notification bells and keep up with everything, because I'm still going to be posting 6 days a week. It'll just be something other than some Empyrion stuff on here. You also leave me a comment, let me know if there's any changes that I didn't mention that you want to make sure people know about. If there's anything you've seen in the upcoming changes that you are worried about, that you are against, what the developers are saying they're going to do, put it in the comments below, because the more feedback we have here, the more feedback we get to Steam and other places where the developers are looking, the more we can influence the state of the game and the direction of the game. Well, again, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Empyrion Survival series. As always, I am Mr. Spicy, and I will see you guys in the next video.